What happened to the Roanoke Colony? In 1587, a group of English settlers, led by John White, established the Roanoke Colony on Roanoke Island, modern-day North Carolina. It was an attempt by Sir Walter Raleigh to create a permanent English settlement in the New World. The colony was established as part of England's efforts to compete with Spain's growing empire in the Americas. John White's return to England. After establishing the colony, John White, the governor of the Roanoke settlement, returned to England to gather supplies and reinforcements for the colony. His return was delayed due to the outbreak of the Anglo-Spanish War. The return to Roanoke, 1590. When White finally returned to Roanoke 3 years later, in 1590, he found the settlement completely deserted. There were no signs of a struggle or violence, but all the settlers had vanished, leaving behind only a few cryptic clues. The word Croatoan. On a post of the colony's fort, White discovered the word Croatoan carved into the wood. This was the name of a nearby Native American tribe that lived on an island south of Roanoke. The carving was accompanied by the letters CRO on a tree, which could have been a shortened form of the same word. However, White didn't investigate further and returned to England, Croatoan Island. This clue led many to believe that the settlers may have relocated to the nearby Croatoan Island, now Hatteras Island. However, White was unable to search for them due to a storm and was forced to return to England once again. The Lost Colony. Despite various expeditions to search for the colonists over the following decades, no trace of the settlers was found. Some historians believe the settlers either assimilated with the Croatoan people or were attacked by hostile native groups or the Spanish. But the truth remains a mystery. Theories and speculations. 1. The settlers merged with the Croatoans. One theory suggests that the colonists, facing hunger, disease, and conflict with local tribes, may have been taken in by the Croatoan tribe. The word Croatoan carved on the post could have been a signal of their relocation. 2. Attack by native tribes. Another possibility is that the settlers were attacked and killed by hostile tribes. Some accounts suggest that the settlers may have faced resistance from tribes in the region, such as the Secotan or Chesapeake tribes. 3. Strange artifacts and evidence. Over the years, there have been claims of artifacts found on or near Croatoan Island that suggest the presence of English settlers, such as European-style pottery and glass beads. However, these have not been definitively linked to the lost colony. The story of the Roanoke Colony is one of the most enduring mysteries in American history. For centuries, historians and amateur sleuths alike have pondered what could have happened to the 115 English men, women, and children who mysteriously vanished from the colony. The lack of conclusive evidence has allowed for a plethora of theories to flourish, ranging from assimilation with Native American tribes to attacks by hostile forces. As we delve into the possible fates of the colonists, it's important to consider the historical context of the time. The late 16th century was a period of intense exploration and colonization by European powers, and the establishment of the Roanoke Colony was part of England's effort to compete with Spain and Portugal in the New World. When John White arrived at Roanoke in 1590 to find the colony abandoned, he discovered the word Croatoan carved into a post, which, as previously mentioned, was the name of a local Native American tribe. This cryptic clue has led to speculation that the colonists may have relocated to nearby Croatoan Island. The idea that the settlers moved to Croatoan Island is supported by the fact that the island was inhabited by the Croatoan tribe, and there is some evidence to suggest that the tribe had peaceful relations with the colonists. Additionally, the absence of any signs of a struggle or violence at the settlement supports the theory that the disappearance was voluntary rather than the result of foul play. On the other hand, the theory that the colonists were attacked and killed by hostile native groups cannot be ruled out. There were several powerful and sometimes aggressive native tribes in the region, including the Secotan and the Chesapeake, and it's possible that the colonists may have been caught in the crossfire of intertribal conflicts, or that they may have been targeted by tribes that were hostile towards the English. Furthermore, there have been reports of violence and enslavement committed by some Native American tribes against European explorers and settlers, suggesting that such acts were not beyond the capabilities or proclivities of the native groups in the area. The lack of concrete evidence for either theory has left the fate of the Roanoke colony open to speculation. Some historians have argued that the colonists likely perished due to disease, starvation, or exposure, with the carving of Croatoan being nothing more than a misguided attempt to preserve the memory of those who died. Others have suggested that the mystery of the Roanoke colony may never be solved due to the limited historical record and the passage of time. In recent years, researchers have attempted to shed new light on the mystery by conducting archaeological excavations and exploring underwater sites. In 2015, a team of archaeologists discovered the remains of a fort on Hatteras Island, which is near to where the Roanoke colony was located. The discovery of the fort, which dates back to the late 16th century, suggests that the area was occupied by English settlers for an extended period of time. While this finding has not provided conclusive answers about the fate of the lost colony, it does offer a potential lead in the search for the missing colonists. As we continue to explore the mysteries of the Roanoke colony, it's essential to approach the subject with an open mind and to consider all possible scenarios. While the theories of assimilation and attack by Native Americans are compelling, we must also acknowledge the possibility that the colonists may have perished due to natural causes or other unforeseen circumstances. Until tangible evidence emerges, the fate of the Roanoke colony will remain a captivating enigma in American history. The case of the Roanoke colony has fascinated historians and the general public alike for centuries. In recent years, DNA analysis of local Native American tribes has emerged as a promising avenue of inquiry in the search for answers. By examining the genetic makeup of the indigenous peoples who lived in the region during the time of the colony, researchers hope to determine whether the missing colonists may have intermixed with local populations. The idea of using DNA analysis to investigate the disappearance of the Roanoke colony was first proposed in the early 1990s by David Suchet, a geneticist and forensic anthropologist. Suchet's research focused on the possibility that the colonists may have integrated with the Croatoan tribe, and he suggested that DNA testing of the Croatoan descendants could provide valuable insights into the mystery. However, progress on this front was slow due to a lack of funding and the technical challenges associated with DNA analysis at the time. In recent years, advances in genetic testing and a renewed interest in the Roanoke colony have led to a resurgence in the use of DNA as a tool for historical research. A team of researchers led by William Michael Hoffman, a professor of anthropology at East Carolina University, has been working to extract DNA from archaeological samples collected at the site of the lost colony in an effort to identify any potential English ancestry among Native American populations in the region. Hoffman's work has been supported by the National Park Service and the Roanoke Island Preservation Society, and it represents a significant step forward in the use of DNA to investigate the fate of the missing colonists. If DNA evidence were to emerge, linking the colonists to a particular Native American tribe, it would provide strong support for the theory that the settlers either relocated to Croatoan Island or that they were assimilated into a local indigenous group through intermarriage. Conversely, if no such links were to be found, it would cast doubt on the assimilation theory and point to other potential explanations for the colony's demise. While DNA analysis holds great promise for shedding light on the Roanoke mystery, it's important to recognize its limitations. The extraction of usable DNA from archaeological samples can be challenging, and the interpretation of genetic data requires careful consideration of various factors, including population genetics and historical records. Nevertheless, the insights gained through DNA analysis have the potential to transform our understanding of the Roanoke colony and the fate of its settlers. By combining DNA evidence with traditional historical research methods, we may finally uncover the truth behind the disappearance of one of America's most enigmatic lost colonies. And with that, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please feel free to leave a like. And if you're interested in checking out more of my videos, you can do so here. Thanks again for watching.